Hi, I'm Chris from Future Music. We're here with Rob from ROLI, who's going to show us the Seaboard Grand today at NAMM 2014. So yeah, I'll let Rob talk a bit more about the product and show off some of its features as a controller, and we'll go from there.
Hi, my name's Rob Gentry from ROLI, and I'm here today at NAMM 2014 to show the Seaboard. It's a new keyboard instrument, and yeah, I'd like to show you some of the features. Set up like a regular piano keyboard. It's got the keys laid out like any sort of keyboard instrument, but the difference is that they're made of a sort of different kind of material, sort of silicon, rubber, and yeah, this allows us a couple of different things to do that regular keyboards can't. So I'm going to show you a few things. Today we're using it as a MIDI controller, effectively, from FX Function Fuser. It's going to have an embedded synth engine in it, and that's currently in development. It'll be ready soon. So today, yeah, we're just showing you this basic things you can do. So the first is pitch. It's capable of polyphonic pitch bend, which means that regular keyboards have a pitch bend wheel or stick at the end of the keyboard. This doesn't have that. You can do vibrato and pitch bend just by sort of moving your finger from side to side. So you can do various, vibrato, basically like a guitar or string instrument. And the polyphonic element comes in when you're playing a chord, so you can affect one more than the other, and then you can slide between notes. Things like that. Also polyphonic aftertouch, so using a similar sort of example, say I hold a chord, to different notes. So you can set that to things like volume or filter cutoff, opening and closing it. But of course you can also set that to more sort of, well, not exciting, but different things such as like ring modulation or FM. So let's change the sound. Okay, so for this sound, instead of bending the pitch, it's affecting the amount of ring mod that happens. It's kind of cool. And again, because it's polyphonic, I can hold a chord using that sound. So yeah, another example, got this other sort of lead sound. So yeah, you notice the sound change as I depress it. So one thing I love about this is that most keyboards have aftertouch. Great. Very few have polyphonic aftertouch. But sort of that aside, just the physical aspect of a plastic or wooden key, you can't really, you push it in, you depress the key further, and you can't really feel it. But with this, because it's made of this sort of silicon rubber material, your finger sort of sinks into it, and it's very tactile, and you can kind of, I don't know, as well as hearing the difference, you can sort of feel the difference. So yeah, this sound is pretty good at demonstrating that. You can sort of obviously, you can assign any of these things, and it operates just like a regular MIDI device, so you can assign aftertouch or pitch bend to any parameter that you want, which leads to some pretty powerful sort of applications.
So I've just come back to join Rob after his presentation. A few things I wanted to ask you really. I mean, as obviously a keyboard player, how was it learning this device? I mean, when you first, because obviously it's a lot different to playing a piano or a keyboard.
Yeah. It's a bit weird when you first put your hands on it. It's like, it feels totally alien. Not, not completely alien because the keys, the spacing, and it's all laid out the same, but just the fact that the material is different and you have to be a little bit more, precise. You can, the polyphonic pitch bend, if you don't hit the key bang in the middle, sometimes it can be a bit sort of flat or sharp. Depends on the sound. You can turn it off or alter it so it's not as responsive.
So you can control the sensitivity of the pitch bend, so you could turn it off completely if you wanted, and have
yeah,
it
exactly,
sort of
and just
quantized.
and use it like a regular controller. Just well, I mean that's not but
I mean, that as an example. I mean, a lot of the sounds that you showed were kind of long, drawn out pad sounds, and I know you can do whatever, but it's a staccato kind of funky or fast stuff. Was that more complicated to learn how to play it? Because how does it respond to
let's find. Yeah, I mean it took. I mean I've not had one at home to practice on, so the only times I've been sort of had time on it is when I've been into ROLI's office or. So I've not had that much time, and I don't know. I've kind of taken to it pretty quickly. It feels pretty natural in terms of, like I say, the material. Like with the aftertouch, you can feel it way more.
what about the impressions? People think this. Do you find yourself a bit harder on the keyboard, or is it softer? I mean, or is it the same?
I mean, again, you can tailor that. It's maybe a little tougher than. I mean, definitely it requires more pressure than a synth keyboard. Just like a non-weighted MIDI controller or synth. And it's completely different to like a wooden piano key. So it's kind of somewhere in the middle, I guess.
Okay, so I guess this isn't just plugged in via MIDI as sort of standard. There's something interpreting between Fuser and the keyboard.
Right. Well, we've just got a regular USB cable plugged into the laptop, and we use just straight ahead MIDI. How we get around the polyphonic pitch bend is that we use, with each new note, it uses a different MIDI channel. So obviously the thing that's receiving the data needs to be able to receive that. We use F-Expansion, Fuser, Cypher, and those soft synths, and they work fine with that. Synth plant, I plugged it in the other day, Sonic Charge synth, that works perfectly, just straight off. Some don't respond to that so well, or don't receive that yet, but they might do in the future, and we're working with some different developers to sort of get them up to speed on that, and we're going to bundle we're not sure yet, some other sort of soft synth.
So if you hold down two notes, that's MIDI channel 1 and 2, add a third note, let go of the first note, it'll dynamically keep signing.
Like an analog polysynth when you've got like voice 1, 2, it sort of cycles round, and that's how it sort of works.
Okay, so I guess that does limit the amount of fingers.
Yeah, I mean polyphony it's sort of limited, I guess, but then you've only got 10 fingers and
16 channels. Okay.
Yeah, it works. I mean, for everything I've used it for so far, it's great.
You never had any cutouts or anything like that, so that's good.
Yeah, and how it does it is sort of quite dynamic.
When you said before about assigning, you can change that. You can quantize where sort of the range of where the pitch is. How is that in software as well? Because there isn't like a display or anything. So
yeah, I mean the whole sort of as you can see, it's pretty sparse, but that was kind of part of the plan. I mean, it looks pretty slick, and the design of it is a big part of it. So we've got this sound dial, and that just scrolls through. It's got 12 positions, and that scrolls through different sounds. It can send program changes. So at the moment, it's just changing patches on Fuser.
Okay.
When we've got the internal sound engine, it will scroll through those patches. And yeah, also it's got a push button, which does a few things, changing it's got inputs for expression pedal and sustain pedal. So for example, if you hold it when you put the sustain pedal in, it changes the polarity and just usual stuff.
So how do you change what's assigned to what?
Okay, and yeah, there's a piece of software called Dashboard on the computer that comes with the Seaboard, and then there's sort of velocity where you can't see it, but there's different curves. So the pitch bend curve can be completely linear, or sort of you can change the shape of it.
Okay. And then you can save your own.
And you can save that per patch, per like 12, you know, on the 12 dials. You can have different ones for each one. Cool.
So maybe now I can leave you again and you can jam us out with something amazing.
I guess the time changed that for you. One life felt just too short. Do you remember that? Now 1 minute more is one too long. Oh, I could be so kind and say how great it was. That would just be blind. You know I feel no loss. And you can say what you want. Now I'm better than you. Take what you want. I'm no longer your fool. Do what you want and watch me do what I do. Because I don't want you near me.